point where I would make $200, $300, $400 in one day. Next day, I'm giving it right back to the market like I'm charity, right? Like if I was doing charity work. So one day I'm profitable, the next day I'm just giving the money right back to the market. And that's what happens when we over trade in the market is, we are doing way more than what we're supposed to. So I encourage you to really look for quality over quantity. And of course, risk to reward is a big factor to how we trade. No one can cheat the grind. This is something that definitely when I first started, I had to understand you do have to put time in. You do have to, this is something that a lot of educators don't teach on, but there's a mental aspect to trading, an emotional aspect to trading, but there's also a physical aspect. These are the three phases when it comes to trading. There's the mental aspect, the emotional aspect, the psychology you're dealing with is the mental, the strategy, and then the emotional aspects, the fear, the greed, all these other things that we feel when we're trading, which we have to get control of. And then finally, there's the physical aspect. One of the big things about trading is your eyes. I don't play any sports besides basketball. I love basketball. But if I was to go out on a golf court and play golf, I can almost guarantee you that I'm probably going to tear up the grass before I even hit that ball. I'll probably dig myself a hole, right? Because there's a coordination between your hand, your swing, your body, and your eyes to hit that little ball. And, I'm not used to, when I play sports, I'm used to playing with a basketball, right? So there's a physical aspect to trading. The more you clock in to watching these charts, the hours you put in, guys, it's not in vain. Believe me when I tell you this. I spend 13 hours, in the beginning, I would spend hours and hours trying to study, learn, and at times you don't see your own progress, but believe me when I'm telling you this, your eyes are getting better and better every single day. Guys, it gets to a point, I remember Christopher Terry said this, it gets to a point where you become intuitive trading. Like, when I mean intuitive, I will see conviction zones without even putting a fib, and I will place my order almost immediately. There was times I woke up in the middle of the night, and I just glanced at my chart, and I said, oh, wow, this is a good spot to put in a sell. And I just put it in, went right back to sleep, woke up, smashed TP1. I'm talking, my eyes became so trained after hours and hours of putting it in the chart. So I just want to encourage you, if you feel like, oh man, but PJ, I've been studying your strategy for 13 hours. I'm gonna tell you that's not enough. I've been doing it for 24 hours. That's not enough. I've been doing it for 30 days. That is not enough, guys. The grind knows who clocked in and the grind knows who clocked out, right? And no one can cheat the grind. Success is attracted to discipline. Success is attracted to those who clock in, right? And put in the time that's needed, right? Because I believe in a good book, and a good book says, as a man sows, so shall he reap. What you put in the ground, just like a farmer, is what you will get back in your harvest, right? If I put only 3 seeds down, I can't expect a major harvest. And so understand that principle is a universal spiritual law that applies in everything we do in life. So the more times you focus on that one strategy, the more times you focus on that 1 or 2, 3 pairs with that strategy, I promise you, you might not see the progress, but your eyes are starting to progress in a whole nother level, right? And so another thing that really stagnated me in the beginning, because I am a trader, is in this business, we always talk about trading and building, right? Guys, they're one and the same thing, right? You are a business owner and an entrepreneur. I've heard people say, well, I'm just a builder, or I'm just a trader, I'm just this. No, you are an investor and entrepreneur. You are a business owner. Okay, and I want to encourage you on this. If you're a trader on this call, and maybe you might feel nervous of talking to people, this and that, don't let that stop you from creating another stream of income. Let me tell you how powerful this is. The banks are investing our money in the foreign exchange market without our permission. We all know that. We can Google the top 10 currency traders right now, and you will see JP Morgan, Citibank, Bank of America, and Goldman Sachs. They're the #1 Forex traders right now. They take our money and they invest it in the financial market. There's something that I learned about people, especially the wealthy, right? Because I have a lot of friends who, are around certain wealths and everything in different circles of life. And one thing I learned is that the wealthy don't like using their money to make money. They love using other people's money to make money. So guys, if you want to start trading like the bank, you got to start thinking like the banks. How can I use someone else's money to trade to make myself more money? Platinum 600 is the greatest way to put $600 in your trading account and play baseball in the market. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Right? Is that making sense? In the beginning, I stagnated myself because I was afraid of rejection. And it was really due to insecurities. It had nothing to do with the company or the compensation plan. And I would just talk bad about building. I said, I'm not building that. I don't do that stuff. And really, I was angry at myself for being, insecure. I'm just being honest with you guys, right? I got to tell you guys the truth, right? It was just me. That's all it was. So I want to encourage you, if you're battling with this part in your business, listen to what I'm telling you this. Do not wait until you master the skill set, then share the opportunity. Guys, I can tell you right now, there's people on this call, there's friends of mine on this call, and there's students on this call that I've been with that started with me in my first year of trading. They are seeing success in their trading, but I spoke to them after 2 months of coming into this opportunity. Can you imagine if I said, let me wait and be selfish and not share this opportunity? Let me wait until I figure out how to trade. It took me 14 months to figure out how to trade. That's how long it took me. And so I spoke to these individuals on my second month in this opportunity. They're here with me now. Some of them already are walking away from their 9 to 5. They already have plans of walking away from their 9 to 5. So can you imagine if I waited 14 months later? So I just want to encourage you, use your residuals and not your lifestyle income to leverage it in the foreign exchange market to trade. Why? Because this is my last point, I promise you. Right? Because I get excited about this stuff. I love using IM's money to trade. I really do. I love it. It's my best thing. I can't wait till my Friday residuals come in so I can just throw it in my trading account and just flip it, right? I love it because my emotions also are not attached to the money. That's another secret. You want to know why? I can call out a trade and maybe 70% of the people will follow the instructions and win the trade, and the other 30% will lose the trade or get out of the trade too early. It's all about psychology and emotions. And so when you're attached to the money that's in your broker's account, you cannot trade at 100% optimal psychologically. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Right? If you are attached to the money in your broker's account, then you can't trade at 100% psychologically. You can't. It's almost impossible. You're going to be sweating bullets. You're going to be looking at your phone. You're going to be getting up every hour. Guys, I don't know about you, but we didn't join this opportunity to be stuck on an MT4 looking at the charts like that. So when you use other people's money, there you have opened up a window where you're like, oh, whatever, $600, I'll get that back. This week, it's $150. I'll get that back this Friday. I'm not worried, but let me place my sell limits. Let me play some baseball. I'm no longer afraid to put my sell limits and buy limits. I'm just going to let it ride, right? And so I just want to encourage you on that. If you're on this call, building and trading is one and the same, guys. Let's not separate them no more. Let's break down the walls of that type of division, because if it wasn't for chairmen, traders won't be in this industry. And if it wasn't for educators, then of course no one would know how to trade. So let's put them together. Let's learn how to be let's learn what the banks are doing with our money and start doing what the banks are doing with our money by leveraging other people's money. So I want to talk to you about finding your edge. I talk about this a lot, especially with my team, about the edge. Excuse me, my throat's a little dry. I've been on calls all morning. But I want to talk about finding your edge. Finding your edge, guys, it's very simple. Your edge is that line that you cross to feel life. When you're operating at your fullest potential, your maximum, you have reached your one's maximum potential and skills and convictions for success. Athletes might use this as an example when they say, I've lost my edge when I got injured. What they're saying is that they lost the advantage that they had when they were at their most optimal performance. They reached a level, a pinnacle of success when they were on their edge. I know, I grew up watching Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, and I know that when it came fourth quarter, something clicked for Michael Jordan. Something happens after the fourth quarter. It's like this man goes from, 100% to 2,000% almost immediately. Something clicks where he reaches optimal potential. He taps into his edge. And so when one is operating at optimal speed, at momentum, and at optimal energy, performing the highest action possible in this spectrum, of course, income producing activities, then you are in the realm of your edge. Guys, when it comes to trading, you have to find your edge. I found my edge after 14 months. Okay, after 14 months and over $13,000 lost into the foreign exchange market. I'm just being honest with you guys, right? And that money was blown not because of IM, but because of my selfishness and my ego of not listening to my educators who were sharing with me this very important information that I'm sharing with you guys right now. An edge requires both a change and a shifting of your perception. Right? And I'm going to go deep into the psychological part because I think this is very important. What I'm going to share with you guys applies in trading and more importantly applies to your life in general. To me, we define success with different things. We attach success to money. We attach success to cars and materialistic things. Whatever your definition of success is, to me, my definition of success is when one is operating at their full God-given potential and living out their God-given purpose and destiny in life. Because I truly believe that if you follow what you were created to do, money will be attracted and success will be attracted to your life. That to me is success. It's just tapping into one's fullest potential. We were born to win in this world, but we were conditioned to fail. We were born to win, but we were conditioned to fail. What I mean by condition, I'm talking about our education system. Our education system taught us to be mediocre. The system that we've learned, that we've been taught, go to school, get a good degree, and work for money. It conditioned us to fail, but God created us to win. We were designed by the Creator to win, to be successful, to be the head and not the tail, to be above and not beneath, to live in abundance and not in poverty. We were born to attain that, but we were conditioned by the system to fail, right? That's why 95% of the people will see this opportunity. They say it's a scam, it don't work, and this and that, because they are conditioned by the system. And so I want to talk to you about discovering your edge because we might have to dig deep to find your edge. Me, it took over $13,000 loss, getting beat up in the market and really tapping into my inner powers to find my edge in the market. So I want to break down some things to you guys. I love this stuff. I remember a few years ago, about 6 years ago, or more maybe now, me and my wife flew to Austin, Texas. This is where we decided to walk away from our 9-to-5s. We are full-time investors. We make multiple streams of income. Trading is not my only income, but it is one of my major incomes. And we were just planning to just walk away from the 9-to-5 life. And we went to a convention of a gentleman, Dr. Joe Dispenza. I highly suggest you guys check out his YouTube videos. Very powerful neurologist. He is a neurologist, but he's also a motivational speaker. Man, I sat in this man's sessions the weekend, and his sessions were about 3 to 4 hours long. I'm talking about powerful meditation sessions that really transformed my life almost 6 years ago. Really transformed my life. He explained how the brain works. We have right now, what you guys are looking at is these neurons and connectors in our brain. We have millions and trillions of connectors that are running. Think of the brain like a circuit board, where information is being transferred through, the connections of neurons, right? These neurons, which you can see here in the top corner, make certain connections. Neuroplasticity is the science behind the renewing of our mind, the change of our mind, how the mind can rewire itself, its behaviors, its condition. Remember, we were born to win, but conditioned to fail, but you can still rewire that condition, right? We were conditioned, we were wired to fail, but we can rewire that condition. And so neuroplasticity is the science behind that. Now, this also applies to trauma, accidents. When there's physical trauma to the brain, you can almost see people. I have a brother-in-law who suffered a major trauma to the brain. And he lost a lot. I mean, a lot. He was in a coma for 30 days. Right now, he's very well. It's been now over, I believe, about 4 years now, and he's back to himself. He's laughing. The doctors even say between 4 to 10 years, things start to come back because the brain is constantly rewiring itself. So this applies to all things in life, and this also applies to your trading, because a lot of things that we're dealing with is psychological and emotional, and it's stopping us from reaching our edge and our success in this industry, whether it is in entrepreneurship or investing. So neuroplasticity, there's a process called synaptic pruning. Everything you've experienced in your life, and I'm going to share this with you guys, please take notes, whatever you got to do. This really changed my life 6 years ago and has really catapulted my success in what I do now. And this became such a powerful transformation once I understood it. The brain is so amazing in that how it functions and how it works, guys. You literally can tap into your full potential once you understand how this works. When we experience pasthood trauma in our childhood, or maybe abuse in our childhood, or even in our teenager years, when we experience breakups from, people we were dating for so long and it hurt us, when we experience traumatic events, your brain sends out chemical reactions through your body, which are emotional reactions, whether they're fear, anger, discouragement, depression. So let's say, as a childhood, I grew up maybe, a little bit of a violent environment, whatever it may be, or maybe I broke up with a girlfriend, a longtime girlfriend of mine, and for the first time I experienced that pain. I was 12 years old, whatever, and my brain records that memory and creates a certain type of synaptic connection in my mind. And that same reaction that I had when she broke up with me is most likely the same reaction I'm going to continue to repeat for the rest of my life when I experience rejection. Now, mind you, when I didn't say when I experience a breakup again, when I just experienced rejection, my brain doesn't know the difference between my leg being broken and my girlfriend breaking up with me, or someone rejecting me from joining the business. This is going to get deep, guys. Follow me here, because I'm about to share something with you guys. And when we experience rejection in our business, when people tell us it's a scam and they hurt us, and our brain starts to refire that traumatic emotion, that traumatic event that I experienced as a child, my body starts to pump those same chemicals that I felt as a kid when my father abandoned me, or when my girlfriend broke up with me. And that same rejection feeling, I'm feeling again now, because someone told me that I don't want to join your scam, or I don't want to be a part of your business. This is why 95% of the people quit within their first 90 days, because they don't understand what they're going through internally within their mind and body. They're regurgitating past experiences right in their business. They lose the trade and now they want to quit. They blow their account, now they're ready to throw in the towel. Why? Because the brain doesn't know the difference between a blown account and when you experience a broken leg, or when you experience rejection when you was a child, or when your parents walked out of your life. And so the emotion becomes so overwhelming, we get depressed and we say, this is not for me, I can't take it. And all we have to do is rewire our mind and change that direction, and we'll change the behavior. Man, I'm really dropping some stuff. This is what changed my life 6 years ago. And I was able to really start to position myself for the entrepreneur journey, especially in trading, guys, right? And so I want to share with you guys how this works. So, I experienced childhood trauma. I experienced different things. And so my brain records certain emotional reactions, whether it's fear, depression, and discouragement. So when I experience a blown account, or I mess up on a trade, that fear and depression starts to, my brain starts to pump those chemicals again into my body. And now I'm feeling depressed. Now that depression is like, maybe this is not for you. Now I have these negative thoughts that I had when my girlfriend left me, or my boyfriend left me, when they told me that I wasn't good enough, that, that they found someone better. And now I'm regurgitating this experience without even knowing it. See, you're not consciously thinking about that event, but your brain has been wired towards that direction. And therefore, that is what begins to happen. And 95% of entrepreneurs quit within their 90 days in any business, in any industry, guys. 90% quit in trading within their first year. 90% of traders quit within their first 12 months. And I promise you, if you guys can get this right here, what I'm about to share with you guys, this applies in any area of your life. This applies in relationship. You know, me and my wife, you know, I mean, she's my best friend. And literally, we have such a great relationship because everything we've done is together. Everything we've learned, we've grown together towards each other. In a relationship, you have to grow towards each other, not just with each other. And so we've understood how all this works. I realized that a lot of our arguments in the past years, you know, when we first started dating, came from past relationship trauma, past relationship traumas with my parents and different things like that. Guys, what I'm sharing with you applies in every area of your life, not just in trading. So how does the edge work? What does it mean, guys? Basically, it's just discovering a way to redirect and rewire your mind. When you experience these events, a blown account, or someone says, no, I'm not joining your scam, or someone says, no, I'm not joining your business, and you know, and you feeling like, or maybe your downline is dropping off and you feel like you built all this and it's all gone now, right? How do you deal with that? I'm going to share with you how I dealt with those negative emotions in my life and what has helped me, because literally, guys, I envisioned myself years ago standing on stage in IM conventions. And I have one of my best friends are on this call, Benji Solar, and he knows what I'm talking about. I remember years ago, 2.5 years ago, I told Benji when we were watching chairmen and educators on stage, I told him, I'm going to be on that stage, man. I'm going to do it. Right? And I'm going to tell you how I manifested that in my life. And just about a year and a half later, I'm on stage. I was on stage in front of over 1,300 individuals in Dallas, Texas, 8,000 individuals in London, UK. This was all envisioned. And I was going through a process of ready to quit. I was ready to throw in the towel. And then I tapped into my edge. And I'm going to share with you guys, right, how this works, right? So I want to be able to teach you guys how to basically rewire those emotions and those negative emotions, because you're not only dealing with what's inside of you, but you're dealing with what's outside of you. Maybe some of your family members don't want you to do this business. They talk about you. They hurt you. So you're dealing with a lot of things, guys. But when you tap into this right here, no one can stop you reaching to your optimal success. And remember, success is defined differently. But just know, to me, is when you reach your edge and you're operating at full speed and at full momentum and full energy, right? So the way it works is I want to rewire my mind now, so that when I do fail, or I feel like I failed, I want to understand. I want my body to feel that mistakes are lessons. I don't take L's, I take lessons, right? And so I want my body to feel that it's just a lesson. I want my body also to know that I'm getting better and better. Right? It's okay. This is all right. I blew the account. It's all right. I'm back on my feet. It's all right. This is growth. I want my brain to understand. Sorry, I'm on my wife's computer, so her Telegram is going off. I try to shut off the notifications, but it's kind of going off there. So, but you know, I want my body, I want my brain now to rewire itself, that when I experience these things, it's not bad. It's great. It's great in the way that I'm going to grow out of this stuff, right? So failure is not final. It's growth. And guys, that's easier said than done. A lot of entrepreneurs, I realized that a lot of entrepreneurs were talking to me when they already tapped into their edge, and I never tapped into mine. So this is why it's easier said than done. And I'm going to share with you guys what I did in my journey. So one of the things that I was telling myself when I blew my accounts and I lost a lot of money in trading, I told myself that what I'm going through is not what I've been through. That's the most important thing. Remind yourself, what you're going through is not what you've been through. You are not what you've been through. You have to start to accept that reality. You know, it don't matter if your past and what you've been through in traumatic events. What you're going through right now is not what you've been through. The next thing is I would practice a mantra, and I would say I'm getting better and better. And one of the things I would do, guys, I would put music in my ears. I never forget this. I mean, it really touches my heart, because I remember even tears flowing out of my eyes. I just blew an account of over $3,000, and I put on some music, and I put on this music, And it was amazing because I started to envision myself on stage. I envisioned myself making six figures in trading, making six figures in my business. I started to envision, and the music, you know, some of the musics were different. Sometimes it was soft music, slow music, very ambient type of music. Some of the music was very energetic, had a lot of energy on it. And I remember tears would flow my eyes because I would envision myself and celebrate at that moment that I've reached levels of success. Why was I doing that? Well, there's a physiology, right? I know you guys probably have heard of, you know, envisioning and manifesting and different things like that. Guys, it's more to it than just closing your eyes and thinking about it and in a magic trick, you're going to be there. None of that's real. But you can change the physiology of your body by envisioning it. You have to change the direction of your emotions. That's what I'm talking about. How you're feeling right now, the discouragement. You know, I watched a video by E.T. and he talked about what moves you, what makes you happy, what makes you laugh, what brings you joy. I want you to do this one time, practice this one thing with me. The next time you feel upset, I want you to think of something that makes you laugh. What makes you laugh? And I want you, if it's a YouTube video, I want you to hurry up and pull up that video and I want you to laugh. I want you to laugh like you never laughed before and watch how your brain responds to that. Watch how your body starts to change now. You know, so what begins to happen is that in neuroplasticity, it's called synaptic pruning. Synaptic pruning is exactly what it means. There's a pruning that happens. Your brain starts to disconnect from those negative neurons from your childhood and starts to make new connections based off of your response that way, your reactions, right? I heard a saying by John Maxwell, you know, and he says, you know, what you do to me, that's up to you. How I react to it, that's up to me. Ooh, that was so powerful, guys. There's a lot of people that hurt us in our lives, right? But how you react to it, that's your responsibility. How they treat you, that's their responsibility. It's okay. But what he's teaching is basically this principle of renewing and rewiring your brain, how you react to certain situations. And that's what I'm sharing with you guys. I used to, you know, when I felt like I was a failure, when I felt like giving up, I would talk to my wife and I say, you know, maybe trading's not for me. You know, I'm just going to quit. And then my wife would encourage me. She would always encourage me. And then I'd go back, play some headphones and listen to some very music and amp myself up. And I would envision myself walking on stage. I would envision myself winning. I would envision myself making $13,000 in one day in trading. Guys, all this was envisioned. And, you know, I had the opportunity to manifest my vision, all because I was changing the physiology, how my emotions felt at the moment of giving up. So I want to encourage you in this. I'm going to give you this one thing. When you feel discouraged, I want you to think of the thing that moves you. What makes you happy? What gives you joy? What enlightens you? And I want you to experience it in the midst of your depression, in the midst of your discouragement, in the moment that you're ready to throw in the towel. I want you to tap into that one thing that moves you the right way and watch. If you keep practicing that, watch what will begin to happen, guys. Your body starts to change when negative situations starts to happen. My wife will tell you, she'll share something with me that might be a bad situation happening, and my response, sometimes she'll be like, man, you just respond like it's okay. You know, like it's nothing wrong with it, right? I know it's a big problem. We're going to deal with it. But my body has changed the way it reacts. It's amazing. I love it. I realize I tapped into something that is so powerful. And I'm not talking about just envisioning your success. I'm talking about feeling your success right now. Because just like your brain doesn't know the difference between traumatic events in your past and a blown account today, your brain doesn't know the difference if you're walking on stage or if you're crying and laying on your bed listening to music and envisioning yourself walking on stage, guys. That is the power right there of the mind. That is the power of the mind. It doesn't know the difference. So you actually can start to feel like $1 million. You just got to feel it. That's it. You just got to feel it, not just envision it. Feel it, guys. Music was a great way that created that positive energy for me. Till this day, I still use music. I mean, I go in my leadership chats and I'm playing music in the background and I'm hyping. I'm telling them, let's go, let's go. And I'm playing loud music, right? Music to this day will enlighten my energy and change my physiology, right? So I hope you guys are getting some good stuff here, right? I know the chat's probably going off. We got over 100 people on this call, and it's a lot. Awesome, awesome. So I hope you guys are getting a lot of stuff. So I'm going to share with you guys now. What time is it? I hope I ain't go over. Let me see the time. Okay, I got a few more minutes. I will go over on it. I'm going to share with you guys now about my trading strategy and how it helped and the way I think about when I'm entering the market. I came across, big shout out to Manny Quinones, again, my mentor, Christopher Terry, and also other educators that help influence my strategy. I learned smart money concepts from Trade House. They're from Dallas, Texas. There's a group of them that are teaching a lot about smart money concept, which deals with institutional trading, which I love. I love it a lot, right? And so what you guys are looking at is the COT report. And this report here, it's a lagging indicator. Okay, I'm not here to tell you that you need to learn how to read this or understand it completely. No, at all. I don't look at it at all. This is just for educational purposes. I just want you guys to know who we're trading with in the bank, right? So right here we have the producers. We're looking at gold right now, right? This is the COT report of gold. This is a report of how many traders were trading this commodity around the world. How many traders were trading this commodity? The first type of trader you have is the producers. Who are the producers? They're the gold mines. They're the jewelry. They're the ones who make rings and jewelry, the goldsmiths. These type of corporations, right? These companies, they're trading gold. They're not trading gold to make money, though. They're trading gold to put a hedge over their business. They're really hedging their business. So they enter positions in the market to hedge. Remember, they are producing the product of gold, whether it's gold bars or gold rings or gold nuggets. And they want to sell it at the best possible price. So they're hedging themselves in the market to protect their business from any losses. They have a superior knowledge of supply and demand in the market. Supply and demand is very simple to understand, guys. It deals with price, right? When there's a coronavirus and a pandemic, the demand for gold goes up. Why? Because the stock market crashes, people panic, investors panic, and they need to put their money in a safe haven asset like gold, where it doesn't depreciate. So now the demand of gold goes up. So when the demand of gold goes up, the price of gold goes up. That's how supply and demand works. If there's no demand of gold, then the supply, of course, there's no need to produce more gold. So therefore you will see a sell-off on its price. It's demand, supply and demand. Very simple to understand. Producers have a superior knowledge because they own different companies and they have balance sheets and they have an idea of their clients and how much they're selling, how much a year and what holiday sells the most and what doesn't. So they have an idea of supply and demand in the market in a more aggressive manner. But you don't have to worry about producers and processors. These are the two big dogs in the market that we're really battling with, and we really are not supposed to battle with. We're supposed to trade with. The swap dealers. JP Morgan is considered one of the world's largest swap dealers in the world, right? And so swap dealers are banks. Large financial institutions like banks are swap dealers. And then managed money are smaller hedge funds, other financial institutions, but smaller hedge funds. You can see, again, this COT report, it clocks in on Tuesday, but it publishes it on Friday. So it's a 4-day lagging indicator. So that I don't use any indicators. This is for educational purposes. But you can see here, the number of traders. Okay, look at that, 105 traders for managed money, only 21 bank traders, right? But again, these guys got billions of dollars. This is why they're moving the market. Every pip on gold is $1 million. So gold moving 100 pips is $100 million dumped in the market easy. Gold moving 400 pips is $400 million dumped. And look, it's about 21 traders, right? 27 traders, 100 traders pushing the market, really moving the market. Guys, we want to trade with them. That's who we want to trade with. And my strategy focuses on that, as well as Golden Girl, who deals with a lot of the structure and trainings on structure and key levels. We're looking for those supply and demand zones in the market. That's what we're looking for. And sometimes, you know, you see these lines here, right? These little gray lines. These are days. Sometimes it will take 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days for price, right, to come to a key level or to a conviction zone level where I want to enter in. This is why I say you don't have to trade every day. My strategy is not to be trading every day. Okay, it's not to be trade every day. We're looking for quality over quantity. Are you going to catch them all? No way. Sometimes you're not going to catch when JP Morgan gets in the bank and dumps in $1 billion in the market, $900 million in the market, 900 pips. You're not going to catch it all the time. But we're looking for quality. So I want you to think of a lion. You're like a lion right now. A lion will sit in the grass for 8 hours before it attacks the prey because it knows that one mistake, it will lose its meal. One mistake, it'll lose its meal, which will cost its life. That's how serious this is. So I want you to take your trading account a little bit more serious, guys, right? I want you to be a lion. I want you to be patient. Look for the setup for the market to come to you. So we want to identify areas of supply and demand, right? That's what we want to identify. We use Fibonacci tools to identify them. I do use other ways to identify them, like gaps in the market, imbalances. These are all great ways to find supply and demand as well, not just the Fibonacci tool. The Fibonacci tool, the conviction zone strategy, came about to help traders find those zones very easily after discovering a certain structure. So I'm going to share my next slide here and what I mean by that, right? So here's an example. Watch my psychology behind this. One, we have a gap in the market. All right, this represents imbalance in the market, right? So if you guys know what I mean by imbalance, okay, this is what imbalance means. All right, please take notes because this is some real good stuff. You guys are getting this right now, right? Imbalance in the market. Inside each candle, inside each of these candles, there's a seller and a buyer. There's contracts. That's what we're trading. So you will have sellers, okay? And then you will have a buyer, okay? And what that means is 926 standard positions were on a sell, and 899 standard positions were on the buy. That's what it means there. So inside each candle, you have these contracts, okay? And inside these contracts are buyers and sellers in the market, right? Whenever we have an imbalance in the market, this is what it looks like, guys. You see something wrong here? There's no sellers. There is absolutely no sellers. Guys, that is manipulation in the market. That is unacceptable price action. That's not how trading works. The banks can't come into this thing and just buy up all that they want. No, they need a seller. They need someone to lose while they're winning. They need liquidity. So that right there is called imbalance. And imbalance becomes a target for me. I know that price will correct that imbalance at some time in the future. How do I know that? Well, just study history, study the gaps, look at it. Look how price revisits, fills the gap, closes the window. We call this window too. Okay, this is like a window seal. That's the window open. Right here, you can see it close the window. Okay, well, it closed it at 50%. Eventually, I remember this move here because we called this trade. It eventually, after it created a full big M, it closed the window completely, but it does fill sometimes at 50% and moves the other way. But either way, this is what I'm talking about, right? So I'm looking for where the banks are possibly going to move price at, and when they get there, there's going to be a possible nice reaction in the market. Right? A reaction in the market. So I designed a strategy, right, with especially the 13.6, which is not default, part of your fibs. These are our key levels, guys. 13.6, 23.6, 7.86, and 8.86 are our key levels, right? Our conviction zone levels. They are reactionary levels, I call them. You can go on our Go Live, and under our session, Trading with the Banks, lesson 1, I give you an immediate breakdown of the basics of the Fibonacci tool. Don't be intimidated by the Fibonacci tool. Guys, you watch that lesson, I promise you it's gonna make all the sense of how this tool works. And so you can see that now I'm measuring. Why am I measuring this? Because one, this candle This one candle was a manipulation candle. That's why I measured it. And when you find these massive candles, massive movements in the market, this is how I find the structures for the conviction zone strategy. These are manipulative moves. So I will place my fibs. And of course, on this example, I placed it on the structure here. Okay, the support level here and the resistance level here. And I got my key level zones, my conviction levels. And you can see price break down, retest, caught the sell. And look what happened when price came in to try to fill 50% of that imbalance. It hit my key level. And even if it came down here, this was another buy limit I had set, it would have closed this entire window. And look where price started to move aggressively. This is an aggressive move, guys. This is an aggressive move. I know I'm doodling everywhere. I apologize, guys. I'm over here. I'm like Picasso right now. And you probably like, what the heck's going on? Let me delete all that. Right? I get excited. I start drawing everywhere, and nobody understands what I'm doing. So look at that wick entry, man. Come on. These big moves here are banks now. These are all banks. These right here are retail traders that got caught up. These are our YouTube traders and babypip.com traders, right? These are banks. Look at this. Banks are in the market. I'm playing baseball, hit my conviction zone. I'm in the game. It took me 2 days to wait for that setup. 3 days for the wait for that setup. No matter how long it takes, guys, once you identify it's game over, I mean, this is powerful stuff I'm sharing with you guys, man. It's awesome. I love it. And here's another example, right? When I find these, we call them Zorros and all of that, I like to see this, guys. I need to see some major institutional candles, okay? You know, I like to see also, let me clear this up. I like to see also when they push the market down like this, and then you ever seen it shoot all the way back up out of nowhere? Like, what the heck was that about? That's manipulation. I love to see that. So when I'm looking at, you know, these Zorros, I like to see that forceful push and then that forced push back up, because then I'm like, okay, wait a minute. That wasn't supposed to happen. They just trapped all the sellers down here. So that means that they're possibly going to come back and retest the manipulation candle. What I mean by a manipulation candle, it's a candle that goes and stops out everyone. And then another candle comes and moves in the direction you wanted it to do after it slammed down and stopped everybody out. So what happens is price comes back, circles back around and retests sometimes the head of that candle or the 50% of that candle. And look where my conviction zone's at. It's measuring that candle almost precisely. That's why the conviction zones are successful, because if they're placed at the right spot, they are actually measuring the mitigation and manipulation candle of the banks. Jeez, man, look, I did it again, guys. I'm writing all over this. All right, let me try to explain one more time to keep it very simple. Here we go. I'm gonna do this because I'm on my wife's computer, so I might have to use her trading view for this. I'm gonna show you one example, and then we'll do some Q&A very quickly because I know I have 10 minutes. Just get excited with this stuff. It's just amazing. It's amazing. Once you see it, it's game over, guys. Don't need indicators for it, but you can be trading with the banks just by, you know, watching the behaviors of these manipulation candles and how it works in the market. So let's look at a trade that was called, you know, let's see, it was a trade called, I think last week. Let me go here. I'm gonna walk you through why I took this trade. Watch this manipulation candle. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go, right here. I'm gonna use my fingers because this thing's taking forever. I'm on a laptop and it's a little hard. Check this out. Remember I told you I love big candles. I love to see JP Morgan in the game, right? Look at this big NFP candle, right? Did you notice something about that NFP candle in the future? What did you see in the future happen to that big sell candle? Somebody tell me what you see. Here's the sell candle. And what do you see there? What happened in the future with structure on that sell candle? Price came and retested the head and part of that body of that candle before making the move that the banks really wanted to make. This is powerful once you get it, guys. CV zones were basically built off of finding these forceful manipulation candles in the market and trading them. So I'll show you one more example in here, right? Let's see if we can pull another example in here. I can see this one too here, hit a CV zone. All right, look at this one. What did it do in the future? Price retested that manipulation candle. Amazing, amazing, right? So that's something else. We'll talk about how to find those two as well without Fibonacci's, right? But let me show you guys real quick, and I'm done. I promise you, because I want to hand this back over to your leader, who's been doing just a wonderful job reaching out to me consistently. I get hundreds of messages. Sometimes I can't see them because it's almost nearly impossible now, but she's definitely been consistent, always worried about her team's success. So here's an example right here. Manipulation. When I measured, the beginning of that manipulation started here, and look where my CV zone's at. That's the sauce right there, guys. I mean, that's it. Once you find this stuff, price is going to end up trading at least 50% of that candle, and look at that. Woo! At least. Now, if it breaks below that, it's invalid, it's done, it don't work, just get out of there. That means that the banks are not going to use that candle no more. And I'm going to tell you guys why. Why is that so important? Because when the banks trade, here we go. I promise you, I'm done after this. I promise you. I get excited about this stuff. This is how the banks trade, guys. This is how the banks trade. The banks buy and sell to buy. So in order to flush out the retail traders in the market, they will open up a sell position. Follow me here. So I promise you, this is going to help you, right? They open up, I'll make this red for a sell. The banks will open up a sell position. They'll dump about $9 million for the sell position to flush out the bottoms, the buyers here, stop everybody out and force the market to go down. Watch this. Then they will buy the market down here, right? They will open up a buy position. So I'm going to make this green. They will open up a buy position. Follow me here, because the banks don't trade with W's, M's, and F's and triangles and all. They don't do any of that stuff. They're the ones moving this market. Watch how they move the market, right? So now they bought it. And what happened to their sell, guys? What right now is happening to their sell position? Can someone tell me? Put it on the chat. What is happening? They're still on the sell. What's the sell? What's happening with the sell? Drawdown. That's exactly what's happening. The banks will buy to sell and sell to buy. They will put their one position that stopped everybody out because they want to move the market up, but they're going to probably move it on Friday or Thursday, but they need some liquidity. So they sold it first, opened up a position first. Now they're in drawdown. They have a best buy position. They're going to confuse retail traders, babybit.com and YouTube traders, with consolidation. And the market starts to consolidate for 2-3 days. What are they doing? They're confusing everybody. They're about to collect some more orders in the market. How are they doing that? They are creating consolidation. So we have buyers and sellers, buyers and sellers. We got stop loss up here. We got stop loss down here. And they are about to mitigate position. That means they're about to close their sell position and buy up the market. So come back and revisit that manipulation candle, and then they take the market where they really wanted to take it in the first place, guys. Come on, man. This is crazy how they work. So they open up a buy position there. They close their sell in profits or in break even, and then they push the market where they wanted to go. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how the banks trade in this market. That is the manipulation they do. You know, some people call it the FU candle because it comes down, F's you, screws you over, and then goes your way. It stops you out, and then it's like, oh my God, it just went 300 pips and I was on the buy for 5 days. Well, if you paid attention to structure, you would have paid attention to that manipulation candle. And if you had your Fibonacci, you would have known to enter with the banks. Look at that. Why? Because they will mitigate either the top of this candle or 50%. Woo! Look at that butter entry, 23.6, clean entry, where the banks wanted to move price at, guys. All right, listen, I'm done. I know I shared a whole lot here a whole lot of value. So right now, I am going to give this back to your leader. Much love to you guys. Thank you, Billie, again. I really appreciate your effort. I honor leadership. You know, we just met probably a few months ago, but just seeing your you know, how you care about your downline. Listen, I know a lot of leaders that don't have the same heart as you, so that's why I'm on this call. So I appreciate your time and thank you again.
Honestly, my face is hurting where I'm literally nodding and smiling so much because, guys, we just got so much sauce right there. And if you didn't get the strategy straight away, you need to go on Jonathan's Go Live straight away. You know, when I first started I really couldn't find a strategy that suited me. And honestly, since getting on his Go Live, my life has changed when it comes to trading. Do you mind if we get like maybe 5 questions in, Jonathan?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm
That
just
is
gonna
perfectly fine.
make the chat box so only I can see it because I don't want it to go too crazy. So guys, if you have any questions at all that you want to ask Jonathan, and make sure you're tagging him on Instagram. It's underscore, I think it's PJ Empowers, something like that. I think it's PJ underscore Empowers. Make sure you're supporting him. He's on Go Live Thursday and Sunday. I'm not sure the UK time, and make sure you subscribe to his pip talk because that's what's literally making me get the pips as well. So guys, if you have any questions, fire away. Oh yeah, 1 a.m. UK time. One thing that I do want to ask you personally, I think I've asked you this before, I can't remember. How do you schedule your time when it comes to family time, trading and building? Because I know you've got a big team yourself. So how do you balance your time?
That is a great question. And hopefully I don't go in a rabbit hole with this because me and my wife had a great discussion about this last year, I think it was. Yeah, last year. I'm going to be very transparent and honest with you guys. When it comes to building your dreams, your legacy, and what you want to achieve in life, in the beginning, there's no such thing as balance. There's no such thing as balance. My only encouragement is if you have children, if you have a spouse, if you have a loved one, that you have to in time split up your time to make sure you're handling your family and business and trading and building. I'm gonna tell you this, you're gonna have to sacrifice one or the other. In the beginning, and this is something so dear to me because I get emotional as I shared this with my son. I had a conversation with my son. My son every day was like, Dad, let's play, you know, and I couldn't play with him for a long time. I'm sorry, I get emotional because it really touches me, right? Because I start to really understand how this works. I was like, you know, son, I can't play. You know, he sees me in the office. He sees this is in my early years of just trying to get established. And he asked me, he said, Daddy, you know, I just want to, you know, let's play. And for a long time, then I had a family meeting. I finally talked to him and I had a heart to heart. I said, this is what I'm doing, son. I started to show him everything that I'm doing. I took him in my office. I showed him everything. I said, this is why I can't play. And just understand this, that I promise you, right now, I might not be the greatest dad. This is a real conversation I told a 6-year-old at that time, right? I said, I might not be the greatest, but I promise you what I'm doing today, son, is so that you can travel the world with me for the rest of your life. And even though our life might be imbalanced at this moment, I promise you we're going to have balance when I'm done doing what I'm doing. So I just want to encourage you that when it comes to building, trading, all these things, there's going to be some imbalance in your life. You just got to have some family meetings, some conversations with your loved ones, your parents, your spouse, whoever it is that maybe be bothered by your time over here building and trading. You just got to say, hey, listen, let's talk about this. My wife told me this because I had the conversation too. She said, you're here, but you're not present. And we had that conversation. We work so very well because we understand that imbalance is almost necessary for you to have a balanced season. When it comes to trading, I would say, since I'm not trading all the time in the market, I do have like a set schedule. I'm New York or London trading, but I trade London in my sleep. I'm not gonna lie, I don't stay up all night trading. I put my limits in and I go to sleep. So there is certain times that I trade gold. So for me, New York is early in the morning. Usually my kids, you know, I get them breakfast, everything's good. I'm at the charge for about 2 hours and I'm done for the rest of the day. So that comes in time. You have to find what time the market moves, what time is best that happens, that you can find that the banks are in the market. So that can possibly help you too as well. So.
Wow, really hit home for me, because where I've got an 8-month-old baby boy, and since having him I found it really hard to balance everything, you know, and I'm only doing this to better our lives and stuff. So sometimes I do need to sacrifice. You get mum guilt, parent guilt, and I know I've got some parents on here which have that would really help them, that advice you just give them. But guys, I don't think I've got any more questions there, but please follow him on Instagram if you do have any questions. I'm sure he won't mind if you do drop him a quick message. But guys, can you see why he's my favorite educator? The most humblest guy I've ever met. I saw him at the convention in London, and I was sitting with my team and I was like, wow, this guy is absolutely amazing. I remembered you and I was like, I need to message him. He used to get on a team call. He was just made my convention experience even better. And honestly, PJ, thank you so much. We appreciate you over here in London. Honestly, this call has made my week. Okay, we've all got things going on in our lives, and this honestly has made my day, my week, my month. But guys, let's drop some emojis right now in the chat box. Let's show our appreciation for him getting on this call for us, dropping more than sauce right here. I'm honestly so grateful for you, and honestly got so much love for you and your family. Big things are coming from you, chairman, definitely. And again, let's just leave it there and make sure you support him, going to go lives for him and learn the boot camp, because boy, your life's going to change. Thank you guys. Bye. God bless.